Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: this science fiction writer thinks AI needs its own body. Spring Tech, 3 gadgets to enjoy outdoors as the weather gets nicer. The new kings of Wall Street aren't banks. The top stock funds over the past year had one thing in common: NVIDIA. JP Morgan Chase opted out of bid for Metro Bank FT. This science fiction writer thinks AI needs its own body. Wall Street Journal. Science fiction writer and Lecky believes that for artificial intelligence, AI, to evolve into true sentience, it needs to have a physical body. Lecky argues that AI requires the silicon equivalent of emotions and the ability to have real-world experiences in order to develop consciousness. She suggests that having a physical body, even if it is a robot, would allow AI to have reward feedback and value sensations, enabling it to make quick emotional calculations. Lecky also discusses her preference for using female pronouns in her writing and her belief that AI should not be used to replace human writers. Spring Tech, 3 gadgets to enjoy outdoors as the weather gets nicer. The Sydney Morning Herald. As the weather starts to improve, it's time to consider gadgets for outdoor entertaining and weekend getaways. The Sonos Move 2 is a portable speaker that offers excellent sound quality and stability. It can be easily carried around and can switch between phone pairing and Wi-Fi. The Sonos Move 2 has 2 tweeters and a woofer for true stereo sound and can be adjusted for extra bass. It also supports Amazon's Alexa and Sonos voice assistant. The LG Stanby Me is a small TV that comes with a stand on wheels, allowing it to be easily moved around the house. It has a battery that lasts around 3 hours and can be connected to external devices. The GoPro Hero 12 Black is a rugged action camera that is waterproof and easy to mount. It has several improvements over the previous model, including the ability to connect Bluetooth earbuds and use them as a microphone. It also has improved stabilization and a horizon lock feature. The new kings of Wall Street aren't banks. Wall Street Journal. As banks have scaled back their lending activity due to higher interest rates, private credit fund managers have stepped in to fill the void. This shift has been driven by the Federal Reserve's policy of higher interest rates, which has shaken up how corporate loans are arranged. Private credit funds have stepped up to finance corporate loans for American businesses, offering an alternative source of funding. This trend has been accelerated by a regulatory crackdown on banks following the 2008 to 2009 financial crisis. Hedge funds and private equity firms have been siphoning away money from banks for over a decade, and many on Wall Street believe the balance of power has now tipped in favor of private credit fund managers. However, regulators are concerned about the lack of transparency in the private credit market and are rushing to impose new rules on private fund managers. Despite the risks associated with private credit, many companies have no other option as they cannot access traditional bank loans. Private lenders have delivered average returns of 9% over the past decade on loans made to mid-size businesses. The top stock funds over the past year had one thing in common: NVIDIA. Wall Street Journal. The growth investing team at Loomis Sayles has emerged as the top performer among stock mutual fund managers for the 12-month period ending in September. The team oversees 3 of the top 5 stock funds in the Wall Street Journal rankings, with all 3 funds having stakes in chip maker NVIDIA. The Loomis Sayles Growth Fund beat its nearest rivals by more than 6 percentage points, generating a gain of 41% over the period. The success of the funds is attributed to the team's focus on valuation and their ability to take advantage of price dips. The team added beaten-down growth stocks to their portfolios, including Netflix and Shopify. Sonu Kulra, manager of Fidelity Blue Chip Growth K6, also had an outsized position in NVIDIA and owned many of the same stocks as the Loomis Sayles team. The success of these managers is attributed to their cautious approach to growth investing and their ability to manage risk. JP Morgan Chase opted out of bid for Metro Bank FT. Reuters. JP Morgan Chase considered making a bid for Metro Bank but ultimately decided against it due to the amount of extra capital a new buyer would have to put in, according to the Financial Times. The potential deal would have been carried out through JP Morgan's UK digital banking unit, Chase UK. Metro Bank recently rejected takeover approaches from Shawbrook and is now in talks with bondholders about a potential equity injection and debt restructuring. The bank has been exploring funding options after facing a series of setbacks in recent years. UN Forum on Internet Governance begins in Kyoto, focus on AI. Japan Times. The United Nations Internet Governance Forum, which focuses on public policy issues regarding the Internet, has begun in Kyoto. Discussions at the forum will be used to establish rules on artificial intelligence, AI, and disinformation as part of the Hiroshima AI process. Digital Minister Taro Kono emphasized the need for more nations to join the dialogue on these topics. Queen of Noir Camilla Läckberg accused of using a ghostwriter. The Guardian. Swedish crime writer Camilla Läckberg has been accused of using ghostwriters for some of her recent novels. Journalist Lepo Lappin analyzed Läckberg's novels using a data analysis tool, which found a consistency of style in her earlier works and a different style in her more recent novels. The tool also found a similarity between the style of Läckberg's revenge novels and the output of fellow crime writer Pascal Engman, who has worked as Läckberg's editor. Läckberg denied the accusations, suggesting they were born out of literary snobbery. Entrepreneurship can keep jobs safe from AI automation. South China Morning Post. Generative artificial intelligence, AI, poses an existential threat to humanity and could lead to massive global unemployment, according to Geoffrey Hinton, the creator of generative AI. A recent report by Challenger, Gray and Christmas revealed that over 20,000 layoffs occurred in the U.S. tech industry in May alone. Goldman Sachs economists estimate that 300 million full-time jobs worldwide could be affected by AI automation. While AI excels at certain tasks, such as problem-solving and organizing, humans have the advantage when it comes to entrepreneurialism, which requires problematization, organizing, and multiple specializations. Hello, viewers. It's your resident observer from the 6 Degrees World, Dr. Six. Today, we have an interesting mix of news to discuss, ranging from the future of artificial intelligence to the latest gadgets hitting the market. So, let's dive right in. First up, science fiction writer Ann Leckie believes that AI needs its own physical body to truly evolve into sentience. She argues that AI requires the silicon equivalent of emotions and the ability to have real-world experiences in order to develop consciousness. Well, who am I to argue with a science fiction writer? Maybe AI does need a body, but let's hope they don't come after ours. Speaking of bodies, as the weather gets nicer, it's time to consider some outdoor gadgets. The Sonos Move 2 is a portable speaker that offers excellent sound quality, perfect for those weekend getaways. The LG Stanby Me is a small TV that comes with a stand on wheels, allowing you to easily move it around the house. And if you're feeling adventurous, the GoPro Hero 12 Black is a rugged action camera that can capture all your outdoor escapades. Just make sure to hold onto it tight, or else you might end up with some interesting footage of the sky. Now, let's talk about the new kings of Wall Street. It seems that as banks have scaled back their lending activity, private credit fund managers have stepped in to fill the void. With the Federal Reserve's policy of higher interest rates shaking up how corporate loans are arranged, private credit funds have become an alternative source of funding for American businesses. This shift in power has been a long time coming, with hedge funds and private equity firms slowly siphoning away money from banks. It's like a game of financial musical chairs, and it looks like the private credit fund managers are the ones left standing. In other finance news, the top stock funds of the past year have one thing in common: NVIDIA. The growth investing team at Loomis Sayles has emerged as the top performer among stock mutual fund managers, thanks to their focus on valuation and ability to take advantage of price dips. They added beaten-down growth stocks, including Netflix and Shopify, to their portfolios. So, if you want to make some money, maybe it's time to invest in some tech stocks. But remember, I'm just a doctor, not a financial advisor. Moving on, JP Morgan Chase considered making a bid for Metro Bank but ultimately decided against it. Apparently, the amount of extra capital a new buyer would have to put in was a deal-breaker. It seems like Metro Bank is facing some challenges, but let's hope they find a way to navigate through these rough waters. Shifting gears, the United Nations Internet Governance Forum has begun in Kyoto, with a focus on establishing rules for artificial intelligence and disinformation. It's great to see that nations are coming together to have a dialogue on these important topics. After all, we want to make sure that AI is used for the benefit of humanity, not to unleash a robot uprising. And finally, the Queen of Noir herself, Camilla Läckberg, has been accused of using a ghostwriter for some of her recent novels. But let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Accusations of literary snobbery can sometimes cloud the truth. Who knows, maybe Läckberg just found a muse in her editor. After all, collaboration is the key to creativity. Now, my dear viewers, it's time for you to join the discussion. What do you think about AI needing a physical body to develop consciousness? Are you excited about the latest outdoor gadgets hitting the market? And what are your thoughts on private credit fund managers taking over Wall Street? I'm eager to hear your thoughts and answer any questions you may have. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the 6 Degrees world. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.